So basically, what I wanted to do with the first hour here is, we're going to go through the system, kind of cover a lot of the different features and functions, kind of how we do things in the system, and we'll cover a lot of the configuration and how things look and feel and stuff like that. And then when we do the breakouts, I'm going to, I'll go into our test environment, and we can, do some, look at some real live, planning projects and real life permits and stuff like that. And we can, apply for those and go through steps in the workflow and stuff like that. So there's quite a bit we can do there. And I may, I do log in as a lot of different people. So, at some point I might forget who I am. So I'm going to apologize for that now. We do pretty much any kind of license, code enforcement, permitting, planning and zoning, request tracking. Everything's tied together with an online portal. It's all one integrated application, and you'll kind of see that when we're going through the system. We're a browser and device independent solution. That's really important when you start working with the public. You really can't tell them what to use, right? So there's no software that has to be downloaded to use any of the features in the system. We use all modern HTML5, JavaScript, modern contemporary development that you would normally see in an Amazon or Google Apps and stuff like that. We've been around for 16 years. We actually started in the cloud model. So I think we're one of the only vendors out there that got started as an internet service. We're not creating virtual environments and hosting kind of our older traditional software in the cloud. We're actually a cloud solution, right? So there's differences there. It's much more scalable, and everybody's on the same version of the software too. So we don't have 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, and then you have to migrate. We update the software on a regular basis. So, that's something that's important. It's just part of the service. We are a subscription. So, we're a pay-as-you-go subscription. I think you'll find, just because we've been out in the market for a long time, our pricing is about 20%, 25% the first year of, traditional softwares. We like to work for your business, right? So, that's really part of our support. We do unlimited support, unlimited custom reports, unlimited technical training, unlimited user training, changes in your configuration. You may want to add new permit processes, change your fees, set up new templates, change your templates. All that stuff's included in support. And really the reason is that, we want you to be happy using the system, so you renew your subscription, right? We don't do multi-year contracts. It's just, pay-as-you-go annual renewal process. It usually a lot of times coincides with the budget year. And we set up like that from the beginning, really because we know that we're working with the government, local governments, and budgeting's a big deal. So we don't want you to, during the term of the subscription, we don't want you to have costs there that you weren't expecting, right? Because then you got to go ask for more money and stuff like that. So if you talk to any of our customers, support's a big thing. I have just for kits, I have
Jim, just one second. So, when we talk about support, it's, anything you ever need to have done with the software, obviously you want to, reports written, although you can write them yourself. You want metrics added to your homepage. You want, change anything in the system. But it's also kind of more than that. If there's, what if sessions, like how do we do this? Or is there a way we can use Citizenserve for this? We're there to do those things too. We work in the city of Compton, California. Just thing that came to front of my mind, they came to us and said, we want a board when people come into the community development department, they can sign in, we know what they're looking for, we figured out a way to do that with Citizenserve. We didn't charge them for that. We got a customer in Massachusetts, they're like, we want to do a foodborne illness, place where people can come in and report, I got sick at McDonald's, or I got sick at this place, and we figured out how to do that. We didn't charge them for that. So it's more than just, the base stuff that you would say, configuration of the software, that type of thing. We're there to kind of help you figure stuff out too. And if there's a way that we can do it, we'll do it. We're not going to charge you for it. And if there's something that we can't do, we'll say that's not in our bailiwick.
So just for Kicksite, this is our support center, right? So the support center is built into the application, and this is what our team looks at every day. So we're constantly kind of monitoring how are we doing on our urgent responses, how are we doing on standard responses, and like we've done year to date, we've done 1,300 requests, and 203 of them were urgent, right? And these are just requests that our users make. Urgent requests we try to get completed within an hour, and then regular requests, we try to get them done the same day. So sometimes people request reports and stuff like that, and we get them done the same day. So it's now I'm going to show you all the configuration stuff while we're kind of looking at the application. It's very easy to do yourself too. So, and you can set up so that it's departmental, control over the administrative rights. So, if you got multiple departments, a particular department can be in charge of their own application types, their own workflows, their own activities like inspections and reviews and stuff like that. So it's very compartmentalized in the administration. So, you can give people rights to their stuff, but not anybody else's stuff. So
That you want to do, we'll show you how to do that just with the rest of our support. Training is unlimited, so if you want to learn how to do something yourself, we're there to do that. So anything that we do, basically you guys can do. Most of our customers just have us do it because we're quick and better at it. We get about 85% of the things we get asked to do every day are done that same day. But if there's things that you want to do, we can do whatever you want and train you to do whatever you want to do in Citizenserve.
So I wanted to point a couple things out here. There are a lot of demos on our website, so if you're having a cup of coffee or something, you can check that out. There's also some live demos out there. We do a lot of times we record demos and we edit them and put them out on the blog or post them. So there's a lot out there. These some of these demos that we've got in here. We did demos for Palm Springs, California, and those are actually the first 6 or 8 demos that you'll see there. And you can search if you want. There's a search feature in the demo. So if you want to look up something like health licensing, you can do that. So there's about 100 demos out on the website. So just wanted to point that out. So I'm going to start out on the Citizen portal and kind of show you around a little bit there. And we're going to take a look behind the scenes too when we're looking at some of this stuff. So this is basically the Citizen application, and it's highly configurable, right? So you can set up different services, your development applications, permits, licenses, menu options here for code complaints and request tracking, stuff like that. You can also set up links. So, all the features in the application, we can set up links. If you want to have a link on your website that goes to apply for an application, we can do that. Any of the features reports that we do for you, you can have on the portal, and you can put those really anywhere in the pages on the portal. You can also set up links to the reports from your website. So if you want to have, a list of plumbing contractors or issued permits or something, and you want to have it right on your website, and you can go right to the reports from there. We can do a lot of different types of reports, and there's an end user reporting tool in the system, so you can create your own reports, merge templates, merge reports, map reports, chart reports, all that sort of stuff, and we'll take a look at that too. This is a map report. It's just code enforcement complaints on a map, but this could just as easily be permits on a map or stuff like that. We use Google Maps. We probably for you guys proposed real-time web services integration with your GIS server, so we can do that too. The pins on the map, you can kind of see, what's behind the pins when you're looking at them. We can go into satellite view too, and this is when you're looking at reports, map features, all this stuff's available. You can go to street view when you're in the mapping and the reports. And when you're on the staff side, you can actually drill down on things in the system like a permit number or an inspection or something like that. So other types of reports, we can do chart reports and stuff like that in the system. And it's very easy to publish them online. You can organize them in your reporting folders and stuff like that in the system. The reports can be linked anywhere. So this is a specific example where we have that. So this is kind of a zoning lookup feature. And over here, I can go to under the permitting section, and you can see there's a link here to that feature. So a lot of times our reports are a little bit more like new features in the system. So, you know, they're very interactive. The reports support HTML, so, you know, we can create links to other systems and links to files in the system and stuff like that. So it's very, very flexible, and we can get really creative with the reporting features. There's a search feature, and this allows you can enable or disable the search feature, and for different permit types and stuff too, if you want. And so if I wanted to search here for permits, and this is all about providing information to the public, right? You know, that's what we're seeing today is, you know, people that are moving to a new system. It's like, I want to work electronically with my constituents, right? And we've been doing this for years, and we started out doing custom portals, and then we ended up just building it into the product, which is really how we work. So like new features and stuff like that, they're going to just be there. They're just part of the subscription. You know, we've, you know, added, you know, at one point we added mapping features and, you know, the report writer, the markup tool that we have. You know, all those things are things that, you know, we're working for you to renew or, you know, renew your subscription, right? So that's kind of, there's a drill down feature too.
A little more on that, Jim. So that's a really good point. I mean, you know, when we roll out new software, it's like we came out with our document markup tool, our e-plan review software tool. It's web-based, everything's done through a browser. It's an awesome tool. We didn't come to our customers and go, hey, we got this new nifty little thing here, and if you want it, we're going to charge you more for that. It just gets rolled in. So you get all of our software that we have today, the cool stuff we're going to develop in the future, all that. And even with that, we have never raised the price on an existing customer in our 16-year history. So it's not to say at some point we wouldn't do that, but that's just never how we've operated. So I mean, we really want our customers to stay with us a long time. We want to honor the fact that customers that came with us early. And so, you know, you're always going to have not just the stuff that we have today, but when something neat comes out in the future, you're going to get that. We don't do like big forklift upgrades, like, hey, you're on the Blue Jay version now, and hey, we're coming out with a red Cardinal version, and you know, in a year, and we're discontinue support for this. If you want to stay on it, great, but we're not going to support it. If you want to get on the new one, it's going to cost you more. We really try to stay, you know, predictable, make sure all of our customers have all of our software. Here again, with the goal being that we're providing a service that they, in that subscription, that they say, hey, we want to re-up with you again this year.
When you release new features, do you send something out so people know that there's new features?
Yeah, so you can subscribe to that.
Okay.
Yeah, so not everybody wants to see that.
Yeah. Do you ever take features away? I mean, we've been dealing with one of our other software vendors where we were tracking certain information in some fields, and then one day that information was just gone. And they said, oh, well, now you have to track it over here, and we lost a lot of that data. So
well, we we may do something differently, but even that's not very often like that. I can't think of a case where we've ever done anything like that. Okay. Well, we've got, you know, we hear from our customers right away if we do something like that, and they're not happy. Yeah. And so we really try to avoid some of those things as much as we can. I mean, when we make a change, we look at that change and say, how's this going to affect everyone? What can we do? And sometimes we'll make a change where it's a configurable option. You know, since we've been doing our support for our customers for 16 years, Citizenserve is really a lot of these stuff that we do to develop our software is making it easy for us to service our customers, which means it's all configurable. And so if we do something in a bigger mode like that, we'll oftentimes make it an option where, like, you know, we're not going to roll that out for you now, or we'll make that a way, do you want to do this or do you not want to do that? Yeah. So we make it more configurable. Okay, thanks.
So basically, I wanted to show you a couple things, kind of a sneak peek here. This is the staff side of the application. If I go to administration here and I go to portal, this is how easy it is to change things in the system. So if I go to my search options, right? If I want to take away the drill down capability, which allows you to drill down on the permits when you search, I can just click on that, save it, and I'm done. Same thing with the search feature. The different published reports are going to be here in the reporting page. This is the web page for the reporting page. So we can put reports on the portal. So this is kind of the reports, and they're written in SQL, and then the application handles kind of the presentation of the reports. And if I wanted to turn one off that's out there, I can just click on a checkbox and turn it off. So So that's something that's really cool. If I want to change the pages, so here in general options, a lot of times you might have something special going on, like we're not going to issue any permits because of X or something. So you can do that here. In general options, you can rename the menu options if you want to. You can also take things off. Some of our customers maybe only use us for permitting, and they'll just have that option up there. So we can get rid of that. So here's the home page. We have a built-in browser and device independent editor that allows you to create and edit templates and generated documents. And then we use it throughout the system. So it's used also for the portal pages. And it's just an industry standard, HTML editor. If I wanted to add some text to the portal homepage, I can do that, right? I can also go into the HTML source code. So if we need to get fancy with the portal, we can get as fancy as we want. But I make this change right here, and you can change all the graphics and the layout and the links and everything like that. It's pretty straightforward to do. If I click save now, let me jump over to my home page. The text is there, right? So everything in Citizenserve, our challenge, over the last, 16 years, so we got to be up 24/7, right? Once your developers and architects and stuff start using the system, you can't be like, oh, we're taking it down to make some changes. Everything in Citizenserve is on the fly configuration. You change your permit applications, you can add things to them, get rid of stuff, change your fees, all that stuff's on the fly in production. We also maintain a couple of test environments. One of them's kind of for data conversions, where we can run data conversions a bunch of times, and people can go in and test with the configuration. And then we have a regular, like a test environment, when we're rolling out a new version, we put it in test first for, a couple of weeks before we launch it. And sometimes our customers involved in the features we might be adding, and we'll give them a login so they can go check it out. So, and
this is a real important point. Is like when you're looking at the portal from the contractor and the citizen's point of view, it's the exact same application that you're using internally, right? I mean, it's not like something that we bolted on a web front end to a back end client server, and it's actually just they're coming into a different role with different responsibilities through this piece. That's some different presentation layer, but it is the exact same application. So it's highly integrated because we started as a web-based component. Everything that we do that's web-based solves the same application.
Kind of what Ray said here is, I'm back in administration, and I'm going to go look at my, so and here's, we've got different departments, and we'll talk a little bit more about this, but you can set up departments and sub-departments, and everything has a scope, right? So I'm clicking on building here, and, I've got rights to, user rights, and I've got lookup rights. And what I wanted to just show you really quick is if I go into my permit types for my department, right, and see the owner here is the building department, you can really see, how the portal is integrated, because we've got, in the main application and administration, we've got permit or portal options for this permit type, right? So we can control kind of, how this is displayed, whether it's on the portal or not, those types of things. So, that includes the custom fields, right, that are on the applications and that sort of thing. So if I go to my my permit here, we use custom fields throughout the system, and so it's contact types, businesses, contractors, plumbing contractors. You can set up those, and then you can have custom fields associated with each one. Property, we can do unlimited number of custom fields with properties. Some of our customers will bring in, 100 different elements into the system. And your inspection forms, activity forms, review forms can all have custom fields, right? And they also have, kind of the portal configuration options, right? If I click on add field here, I can see that, I've got an opportunity here to add different things. There's like a Bluebeam integration field that we can add to projects, contact listings. These are all very specific to the types of things we do. There's about 40. There's a drawing custom field where we can do a drawing. There's drop-down list boxes, headers. A lot of times we build the help into the applications with the, long text fields and stuff like that. We can set up links. There's a signature custom field, all sort of violation listings if you want to put violations on a inspection form or something like that. And then these all have options, say like the document attachment. Here you can see that, I've got the ability to kind of control how it works on the portal, right? And then there's other options like, hey, what kind of document types do I want to accept here? We can set the fields up. There's help you can do that's specific to each field on the applications. We can also we can make the custom fields searchable. We can track changes to custom fields, like square footage would be a good one. Maybe we want to track changes on square footage on the application because, it's the fees are calculated with that, and, we want to know if somebody's changed it, right? We can secure mask custom fields. So, if you have a tax ID number, birth date, or something like that, and you want to do that, you can do that. And we can also say we only want to have it required on the portal, but not on the staff side. We can make it required. We can make it not required. On the portal, we can say, I'm not going to display this. We can set up a staff-only section in there. We can display things as read-only, editable. Sometimes you want to take information like a social security number, and you don't want to show it ever again on the portal. We can do that. And we can display things only on the portal. If you want to put a bunch of help text, maybe you want the help text to show up on the staff side, and we can do that kind of stuff too. So the applications are really easy to change. We're going to look at this building permit. So let's take a look at one of our custom fields here. We're going to go down, and I'm going to add a drawing custom field. So we could, throw in some text there, and we'll make this editable on the portal. We are going to make it not required, and that's good enough. So we'll save that. And so this is going to save this in our screen. And when we do develop the forms, we have another browser open. We can kind of look at. We can look at the form in the other browser. So, a lot of times you kind of want the WYSIWYG, sort of how does this look while I'm developing it? You can do that just by opening another browser page in the system. So I added a field to this permit type. So I wanted to kind of show you the integration with the portal and kind of how easy it is to do some of this stuff. And so we'll jump back over to the portal here. People register under my account here. And I'm going to just do a quick application so you can see what that looks like. And we'll talk about what the staff side looks like here in a second. And
around quite a bit, as Jim said, we'll be coming in as different employees, for the municipality with different roles, responsibilities. Be on the portal as a contractor. Whenever you see that Buena Vista logo up there, you'll know that you're in as a citizen or a contractor. You see the Citizenserve logo, then you're in as an employee of the city.
So I logged in, so now I can kind of see more information. I can see my applications and stuff like that. So here I've got, my different things I might have going on with the city, right? I can drill down, and I can see what's issued and all under review and stuff like that. So I can click on my permit number here, and this is going to pull the permit up, right? And so I can see what I put on the permit application in the system. I can also see my review status, right? So this is true for, licensing and, any kind of license type or permit type, right? And I can see kind of who's looking at my application to approve it, that sort of stuff. I can see the comments also, so I can review comments. The documents here, I can see different document types in here in the system, and I picked one that's probably not a good example. So let's jump back to where we were, and we can use the back button. We're in a browser, so we can go backwards and forwards and stuff like that throughout the system.
Seems like the contractors really like that aspect where, like, say there's 5 steps in a review, right? And the first piece is done. They can see the comments, they can see the markups on the plans that they submitted, and they can get started on some of those things before the whole thing is done. You don't have to do it that way. Some of our customers choose not to, show anything until everything is done. That's great too. But we do see a lot of contractors like that aspect. I mean, electrical's done, I can start working on electrical now, so get some of those things done before the whole completed.
So basically, I'm on the permitting, kind of the permitting area, and you can customize all this, and there's different pages you can enable, do I need a permit? And so we can set this up so you can, have different links and stuff like that in the system. So if I go back to submittal requirements, we can set up links in the system we can set up links to other systems. We can set up links to documents and stuff like that on the portal. So I'm going to basically go to permits here, and I can click apply online, and I'm going to click my building permit. Now these are going to be a list of, all your application types for permitting, right? Development's going to have their own list of development applications. I'll click on new construction. This note here is customizable. There's also a note when you're requesting inspections and stuff like that. I'm going to do a new home construction. Now, the pages are, we're all in a browser here, so, we can use Google Translate. It'll translate the application form and the pages to German or Spanish or whatever you want to do. We can add things to a project, and I'm just going to say new project here. And we'll just put in some information, and I think I got to change my city name to our demo city. And the help icons show up kind of like as a little question mark here. And I'll click on find address. So I found my address here, and if it's a different address, I could click on that. There's also a map feature here where you can open it up and see your project on a map. And we use the different tabs in the browser, so I can kind of go back to where I was, go back to the map, go back to my submittal requirements. So we use that a lot in the system. The applications can also be dynamic. That's really helpful because, a lot of times there's a yes/no question. If they say yes, we're in a, historic district or a floodplain, we could ask like 10 more questions. And if they say no, we just don't ask those questions. And this is kind of an example of that. We've got a required field here for number of structures. And if we say one, it shows us one. So you say two, it shows us two, right? So we can set up, this is a really cool feature. The other thing is we're HTML5 on the portal. And the applications look good on a smartphone or a tablet, right? So, we're rendering everything in the browser, and, things look good in different form factors, right? So if I go up here, I'll put in a couple things. We can do valuation tables on anything. So any of the custom fields can be used to create a valuation table. Typically in building, it's the ICC table, and here we're getting the contractor's estimate. And in this example, we can integrate with licensing. So for your trades and stuff like that, you can only list the approved plumbers in the city and things like that. This is the submittal buttons, but these can be anywhere in the applications. We'll look at some examples later when we're looking at the real world, and you'll see that they can be put anywhere. I'm going to upload a couple of things just so you see what that looks like. So we don't charge for storage. You can store as much stuff as you want. In Citizenserve, we started out with unlimited storage, and I'm going to upload another couple of documents here.
We're never going to charge you for storage. We keep those documents in perpetuity unless you say, hey, this certain document type you want to archive every 5 years or get rid of every 5 years. We'll do that. So we have a lot more of our customers that are starting to use like video during their inspections, or taking pictures during inspections, just like we do with code enforcement. So if you have something that didn't pass, take a picture of it. We can integrate that into the reports, and so you're never going to get charged for storage.
So I've got, kind of this is a good example of maybe we don't show this maybe on the staff side in the system. Here's a checkbox. Hey, I agree to terms and conditions. We can do signatures, and we can do the signatures with inspection forms too. A lot of times with health or environmental inspections, you want to get the person in charge you went over the report with them and they sign it. And then it appears, their signature will appear on the report. This is the custom field we just added, right? So I can click on that, and it's going to allow me to kind of do some drawing. It kind of works better when it's a pin. I'm not very artsy, so that's my site. And then everything on the portal can be saved for later. We can do the dynamic forms with requests, citizen requests, with licenses, with code enforcement, complaint types or file types and stuff like that. So it's very, same with the submittal document stuff. If you want to, hey, you're complaining about something, click this button, take a picture. We can do that on the forms in the portal. This is going to send me a template email saying, hey, we got your thing. Now here we're asking for payment of the plan check fees, right? The fees can be configured, a bunch of different ways. So pay everything at once, and we just email you the permit. Kind of instant permits we can do. We can do more complicated permits where maybe the fees get determined later, and then we can also do application fees, right? So, in a license, you got to pay $100 or something, and we'll figure the rest out later, or like plan check fees in a building permit situation. So we did this, and I'm going to skip over the payment part of this and jump in and start showing you the staff side of the application. And we've got Morgan here, who she receives the applications. And so really important when you start working with the public is you want to have a notification matrix that tells you when they do something on the portal, like the ball's back in your court, right? And that's set up in Citizenserve and the administrative features. And we'll jump over here and take a quick look at that. So we'll go down to permitting options. And we've got, options basically for scheduling inspections and kind of how we're going to do that. Non-inspection dates can be put in here. And we'll go down here to user notifications and assignments. And so this basically is, hey, for my building permit, when I get a new one, do I tell someone if I get it modified? Who do I tell here? So I can inspection requests can be routed to different people. We've got some dynamic user types too, like responsible user. When an application comes in, you can say, okay, Joe's responsible for these types of applications. So it can be dynamic. There's an unassigned activity queue so that, departments can kind of queue up things and assign them later. I'll show you that too. And if the inspection or they leave a message on the portal or upload documents, so, a lot of times you ask for a revised document and you want to know that when they upload it, right? So you can go look at it. You don't want to have to keep going back to check the file because that's, that'd be a pain and you might forget. And if you forget, then they're going to call mad that, their permit's not issued yet. So, so that's kind of the user notifications and assignments. And so Morgan here is set up to get the first step in the workflow, right? And this is the permit that we just did. So this is the staff side of the application, right? And so we, you can, lots of different options here. So there's a quick search, which is a wildcard search. You can customize this based on your job function. And the custom fields are supported here too. So, we can set up any kind of custom fields in there. And we can also rearrange our homepage. So depending on what we want to look at, Morgan's got our metrics at the top here, and we can move our calendar around, tasks, recent files, links. There's a notes thing that she doesn't have enabled. And the metrics, which we've got here in our first spot here, and they're customizable, so each user can have different metrics. We actually do metrics. They're kind of like reports, so we do them for our customers as part of support. If you want a new one that's not there, but, kind of handy ones, overdue permit reviews, pending permit reviews. I don't know if I have the overdue ones in here. Let me add that. I'll have to say all, and we'll add that one to the home page here. So that's adding my overdue permit reviews here, right? And I've got my pending permit reviews over here. So that's that's how you add a metric. It's pretty easy to do. The calendar is built in. It's the browser and device independent calendar. There's a calendar integration feature which the users can enable. And we can also, when things get added, like if somebody adds something to your list, we can turn on, send an email, to me when I get new assignments, and it sends a link to that activity in the email, so you can just click on the link to go to it. So this is kind of the calendar, and you can see there's a multi-calendar view and stuff like that in the system, which is kind of cool. And so under my tasks here, this is kind of all my assignments, right? And I've got this one that we just got, which is application intake. Lots of different ways to slice and dice things in Citizenserve and sort things. I can see all my activities on a map if I want. So here's the map on the staff side. And so here I mentioned we can drill down. We can drill down on permits and the activities. We can go into satellite view. We can bring in layers into the view here, and I can see the tabular information behind the layers. I can go into satellite view if I want to, and that kind of stuff. So all those features are available. And I've got recent files. This is kind of allows me to see, anything I've worked on recently. And you can minimize these things too if you want. And then I can pin things to my home page. Like if I wanted to pin a report, like if I run expired permit notices or I have my favorite reports, I can just pin them to my home page, which is kind of cool. The unassigned activity queue is really handy, right? And so I can go in here and see activities. I can pick them up if I want to for myself. And you can have warnings in here too about, stuff like, you got to assign this to a particular department or something like that. We can do conditions throughout the application, and we'll talk more about those later. But, when I print an official document, I can put a warning or a stop up there, like if they haven't paid for their permit or something like that. Scheduling inspections, if I'm trying to schedule a final and I haven't passed my footing, we can do conditions there. The calendar is available here, for calendar events. These are reviews. A calendar event's like an inspection. So you see the ... here. So if I want to go look at everybody's calendar while I'm in the unassigned activity queue, I can do that. You can have different categories of inspectors, and you can see multi-calendars, and you can drill down from the calendar when you're in the calendar. It's kind of cool. And I can, pick things up for myself, assign them to somebody else, that sort of thing. Let's take a look at the permit that we've got in here, and and everything looks the same in Citizenserve. Code enforcement case, request tracking, files, licenses, all looks the same. And we use a lot of common icons. If you look back here where we were, you'll see an alert on this property here. And you can kind of see there's alerts on the property. Also, it's showing me everything in the file. So I've got an alert on my contractor too, right? There's a standing conditions feature, which kind of allows me to put conditions on a property or a parcel that apply to all the permits that are on that. And that's what the hand is. Back into my permit here. And, I can see the application here. We assume a little more real estate on the staff side. There's also we're doing a new interface. Someone's going to shoot me for showing you guys this, but I'm going to do it anyways. If I jump over to another tab here, this is kind of our new interface. It's, it's full HTML5. It looks a little different. Because of our application architecture, when we change the interface like this, we're just changing the HTML and the JavaScript, and all the business objects, stay the same. The database stays the same. It just looks different. And when we migrate to something like this, because we've done this a couple of times, it'll be an option, right? So we can't really get everybody overnight to switch to this. So it'll just be an option, like, hey, and it'll either be at the user level or it'll be at the installation level. So when you're ready, we'll put that in. And so you can see here, it's kind of, when we go into like a form factor that's like a phone or something, it gets, and we work great on phones now. We work great on tablets. It's just that, more and more people are using smartphones and tablets, and we want to use a more progressive web application design in the system. So it's just a natural evolution of things.
That's all HTML5 responsive design. It's been that way for probably a couple of years now.
Yeah, and that's because they use iPhones and stuff more than the staff do. So that's a sneak peek there of the kind of the new interface. I didn't show anybody that today. So this is down here with the submittal documents. I can open the submittal documents right from the application, right? This applies to, planning and zoning, development applications, code cases, whatever. And I can go to the markup tool from here also. And here's kind of a staff only section down here. We've kind of got couple of staff only things where I can tweak the fees if I want to, and they're just custom fields that are part of the fee table. So, and the fees are down here at the bottom. You know, I can do manual fees, I can recalculate fees, I can do payment allocations, add payments if I want. Like if I wanted to add a payment here, I can. And see if we get a check. And from our applicant, we're going to show you a contact listing frequently in the application. So emails, generating letters. We're going to show you kind of everybody involved in the project. You hear what I've got my trades, and we'll put in information here. Save that. That's a payment. Other things we're going to see here is the review. This has a automated workflow route. We support doing any combination of sequential or parallel workflow activities in the system, and so we can do that. And multiple reviews, you know, historic district review, or you know, floodplain review, or you know, any additional reviews we might want to add to this project. We could do that. Really, over here on the side, we just add another route, and the routes are set up, you know, by permit type or application type. Inspections show up here under the inspections tab, and documents show up here. All the generated documents, the submittal documents. You can have different. You can slice and dice things here also. You know, we are a project, so you know, that's kind of important. You know, you know, you can have multiple permits within the project, multiple application types. And we show you all the people, yeah?
Jim, Sam, we're planning for us. Just want to do a time check. We've got about 5 minutes. And I'd like to have some time for the staff to ask questions.
Sure, yeah. We can do some questions now, and you know, we'll be talking more about a lot of the other features. So
we didn't look at the ad hoc reporting piece, so that's let's see if we can any questions, and if not, maybe we can look at that and search.
Okay, on the document, this is Ron Hooper. On the document attachments that you showed on the one screen, you were able to, I guess, view it and then also trash can it. I assume there's some sort of safeguards on that, or rights. Not just anybody can go in and trash can something.
And everything is also, everything that you do is going to be tracked in history on the within that piece. And so you'll see if someone did, you know, get rid of a document or something like that. And he's showing you here that, you know, the ability to delete is in our roles and responsibilities.
Okay, and then on there or someplace else, okay, that what you were showing was the name of one document. What if you get an updated document? Does it show there, or does it replace?
It just comes in addition.
It just comes in, okay.
If you do delete, hit the little trash can button, does it prompt you to verify that you really need it?
Yep.
And there's, you know, there's different rights. I mean, we've got just delete, and it's all by department. So I only have this right in the building department, right? And you can see I got view mostly in other departments. The ability to modify, delete files, really important with security. You know, sometimes you want to have the ability to delete something, but not everything, right? And then edit closed files and completed items. That's a right in the system. Like if I do an inspection, I don't want anybody to change it once it's done, right? So that's what edit completed items means, is just, you know, as I can lock down completed activities.
Let's see if we have any other questions. We have a couple of minutes here left in the session.
Great.
And all of the, like for business licensing, can you have custom fields by license type?
Every one of our license types are going to be custom for that license type.
Okay.
So we don't start with really hardly, you know, anything. Everything that we do is going to be customized using those lists of custom fields, again, the interactions and the dynamic custom fields. Every one of those is going to be set up exactly the way.
And we can do file types that, you know, are not associated with a physical address too. So a solicitor license, things like that.
I know we didn't show the ad hoc reporting. You want to just show that really quick, and maybe the search?
Yeah, no problem. So if I go to reports, this is kind of where, you know, people are going to have their reports in the system. There's some standard reports, like we have a proximity search, you know, allows you to sort of, you can search on an address and see everything in a list or on a map And so I've got and I also have a ability to send out template notices, and I've got that here kind of on a butter notice view. So now all the reports tabular, I can export to Excel, right? And I can also print the reports, and we can set up links in the reports too. This is just a listing. So I can do a map view of this if I want to. And we've got a kind of all in one area here. So it kind of shows me the abutter notice area. And then I can go in here and do a notice, right? So this is where we're going to combine the list with a template, which is developed in the HTML tool, right? And so I can go in and print this out. It'll show me what it looks like on a piece of paper. So this is kind of a piece of paper view of that.
Every one of those individual reports are going to get saved back to their file or to their permit also. So if you run that type of a thing, you do generate 75 of these. Each one of those are going to be saved back to either that address or that permit, whatever's applicable. So if you go back, you said, sent somebody a letter, 5 years ago or whatever, it's going to be in that file.
And are those notices tied to the department? So if the licensing division has reports or notices that codes doesn't even have anything to do with, they won't see it in their drop down.
Yep, absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah, but he was looking at that was the report that he shows, that's for each individual user. Right? And then you have rights and responsibilities based on your department.
So our end user reporting tool, it uses the same display interface as the custom reports, which are just written in SQL, right? And so you can have different reporting folders. I can set one of those up. So I'm going to do a map report, but you can see I've got some choices here: chart, list, map, email template, and then a letter template. If I want to put it on my home page, I can just click there. So we organize the information for the end user, so you don't have to know anything about the database. And I'm picking permits, and so let's say and I can drill down on reports I make. So I'm going to pick the permit number, maybe file description. We'll go down here. We support using custom fields in the report writer, so that's kind of cool. I'll just grab a couple of things. This is going to be the text information that shows up when I click on the pen on the map. Maybe I'll click on balance due here or something like that. So I picked my fields I want to see. I'm going to do some selection criteria, issue dates, greater than. I got to go back in time a little bit because we don't have much data here. So, and I'll say that I want to, kind of have a legend on the map of permit type. And I can click on generate here. And this is going to put my permits on a map. And it looks like I don't have many issued permits in this example, but you can click on this and kind of see the information that you selected. You can also click on the permit number. And now I clicked on that permit number and it didn't pop up because it basically has popped up here in another tab, right? So, sometimes you want to stay on your report and look at the information at the same time. So that's what this is set up for. And you can go back now, and once you create your report, it's saved in the system. So, if I go back to reporting, I've got my GIMS permits issued on a map. I can share this. I can set up a different folder. I can, actually, I got to go into the map report here. I can change my criteria, so I don't have to do all that stuff every time. And then there's a share feature. If I want to share this with another staff member, I can do that, right? And I can pick what folder I want to put it in for them if they have more than one folder.
Our approach is a little bit different. I mean, we didn't take like a SQL or a Crystal report writer that's kind of designed to go over whoever's database. We really found that was like too complicated for the average user and not robust enough for a very sophisticated user. So what you're seeing here, this reporting tool is built by us over our database, so it's specific to us. And then a lot of times our staff, if they're asked to write a real complicated report, they'll just do a SQL script. They'll just do it all in SQL. So that's kind of how we do. We have an easy tool, that our end users can use, and then all of our people that are going to do support is done by the same people that do implementations. They all know SQL. They'll just write a SQL script to do whatever absolutely that you need. So
that's just a custom report type.
Real quick on search, just to kind of show that versus the reporting. There's a lot of
Sure. Yeah, so search is super powerful, and we do have a person view and a property view of everything in the system. So you're going to be able to open a property and see all the permits and violations and code cases on the property. Same thing with search contact. So search file is almost like a reporting tool in itself, right? I can go in here and say, I want to see all my building permits and issued, I'll do all of last year since we don't have that much data. And I can click on search, and this is going to pull up the files. And if there's a thumbnail representation, we use the Google Street View when you create a file, and then you can change that if you want. But I can easily see my list of things I found, and I can go into the file or the permits. There might be more than one permit listed here. And then it's easy to switch to the map view too. So, I can go map view and, see those permits, and I can click on those and drill down on the files and stuff like that. So this is, I can pull my layers in. So the search features are really cool. It's almost like a reporting type of a tool. Then if I search contact, search for me, I just want to show you the person view. This is a person. We call them contacts, but I can see all the files somebody's involved in, all their permits, all their licenses, and all the documents associated with them. I can add alerts on people, documents, notes. If somebody came in and say, I want a payment, I want to pay for all my permits, I can just click on add payment, and it'll just pull up the total they owe, right? We kind of cover that in cashiering. And if I search on a property, let's do our demo property here that we use a lot. And, you can search on other things if you want. But here's my property view, and I could see a list. If I wanted to see them all on a map, I can see them here, but I'll just click on my property here. And this is the property view. You're going to see, you'll see some of the custom fields down here. Like, I think we only have zoning is a custom field down here, but we could have a lot. File types, permits, licenses, violations on this property, all the documents associated with the property, plan documents, letters I've sent, everything like that. And the system's really snappy. I just pulled up 2,500 documents. I use this address for my demo, so there's quite a bit in here in terms of the number of permits. And we have really focused a lot on performance. We've got a lot of experience doing that over the years, and the application performs well out in the field, also in the office and stuff like that. So
kind of back to the search, any of the custom fields like you were asking about, the fields that we'd use on a license type versus a permit type, all the custom fields we do, you can make any of those searchable so they'll appear in the search criteria. So if we create a custom field for you that's historic district, as an example, right? You could search by, all but I only want it for historic districts. And so it's all searchable also.
Is there a limit on user-defined fields for permit type, or?
No. No, we're working with the Mississippi wetlands, and on one, it's very complicated what we do with them, but there's over 1,500 fields on one application. They're all custom.
So I just made, the square footage searchable on that application, and you can see it here in my quick find, and I can also go over here to search, and, I'm going to see it down here, right? So, that's how easy it is to, and some of our customers might have, 20 or 30 fields down here in the search options to search on stuff. So is there anything else, since we're kind of over time here, but.
I think we hit off on everything. So that was kind of a bigger picture. We did kind of take you back into the back end a little bit, just so you can kind of see what kind of goes on from the administrative aspect, which normally you're not going to use, but if you guys do want to use any of that, you're absolutely welcome to do that. Kind of give more of an overview, and we're going to drill down into more specifics on each of the the modules and stuff.
So do you tie into Active Directory, any user authentication, login?
Yep, we can integrate with Active Directory. We use a tool called Auth0, if you'd like to look into that, but it really enables any kind of a, SAML token-based or Active Directory integration. So we do that all the time. Yeah, if you look into Auth0, and we use that, it's just, it'll handle anything, kind of a broker tool that sits between us and what we do, and a lot of stuff where you kind of fit together.
All right, well, thanks, guys. Thanks, sir. We'll send it in, I'll collect the evaluation forms.